Hey friends, Mike here, and this is the Music Composer Show, a show where I share my professional journey, story and adventure as a music composer. In this show you will learn from my composer tips, tricks and secrets, watch behind the scenes as I compose music, be inspired from new instruments and effects, get advice for your journey in music, and much more. Please subscribe to support me so that I can keep making free content for you, and also click that notification bell so that you don't miss any new episodes. Let's kickstart the show right now. This is what you will get today in the Music Composer Show. And this episode is sponsored by the great people at Teehee Control. They provided me with this amazing product called a breath controller. What is it? It is used to add expression and realism to your instruments and sounds in your music compositions in a much faster and more natural way than drawing with your mouse. It is kind of a secret trick in music production, to be honest, that most composers either don't know about or haven't yet tried. Thank you so much, Teehee Control, for supporting the show. Do you feel that you are advancing as fast as you would like in your music composer and artist career? Do you get a lot of projects and tasks done each and every week? I know how you feel, because we all face this problem, especially us artistic people. Procrastination. If you never heard this word, it basically means to push the important tasks and projects aside and instead do other things that don't really help your professional music career. I must confess that as a student, I often played video games, watched movies, and spent my time on a lot of other fun stuff instead of studying. Then I had to study like crazy the last few days before the test, just because I had procrastinated. It's the same thing now that I have a professional career in music. You need to constantly help yourself stay focused on the important things, the things that matter the most for your professional journey in music. So what can you actually do? Well, I have learned a lot of tricks based on my personal experience because I was a master of procrastination. And that's not a thing you really want to be a master of. So here is a quick list of things that have helped me. 1. Plan every task and project in a to-do list. Personally, I tested a lot of apps to keep myself organized and finally settled on Trello, which I have now used for a couple of years and love it. Another to-do list app I have used is called Wunderlist. Whatever to-do list app you choose, make sure you stick to it. It's best to keep all tasks and projects organized in one single place. 2. Schedule your work in your calendar. I used to only use my calendar for appointments, but I have learned that I work much better when I schedule my work sessions and add reminders to every session. For example, I can write scripting session, then I know I should focus on writing scripts for videos, courses, blog posts, etc. 3. Use focus tools to help you. There are many tools and techniques you can use to help you stay focused. One of them is called Pomodoro and is based on using a timer for your focus sessions, followed by a short break. Usually 25 minutes of focused work with a 5-minute break. Then after 3 rounds you take a longer break. 4. Make yourself accountable. One of the best ways to get things done is to be accountable. A boss or a client that expects you to have your work done by a certain date. But you can also make yourself accountable by, for example, sharing your weekly goals with professional peers in your industry. And then you review those goals at the end of the week to see what you got done. A great place to do this is in a community with other professionals in your industry. 5. Create deadlines. Even better than sharing your goals is actually putting a specific deadline for a big project. Let's say you are going to make a full-length album of your music. Then pick a future date as your final deadline. Share your deadline for your big projects with fellow professionals plus your fans and followers. You want to make sure that if you do not finish before the deadline, you will feel bad, because that is the very thing that makes deadlines so great. Today I want to recommend a plugin for adding rhythmic interest and complexity to any sound. It is called Gatekeeper, and it is a really cool rhythmic gate effect plugin that I was sent to check out by the nice people over at Polyverse Music. Let me first demonstrate what this plugin can do. Alright, so I will play this orchestral string ensemble from Symphobia first without Gatekeeper on, then I will turn it on and you will hear how much difference it makes by adding that rhythmic movement to the sound. Now, what is Gatekeeper? Well, basically, it adds rhythm by adding silence, chopping up the audio, you might say, in a rhythmically interesting way. So how can you benefit from using a rhythmic gate and stutter effect like this? Well, adding rhythmic movement to long, sustained sounds is my personal favorite. For example, pads, drones, soundscapes, sustained guitar notes, etc. Now for my favorite things about Gatekeeper. 1. Great interface. It is super easy to use this plugin and the learning curve is minimal, mainly because it is designed so well. 2. The curve control. I love that you have complete control over all the curves for the gating points. And 3. The pattern control. You can change gating pattern by using key switches, which adds even more creative freedom to spice up your sounds with rhythmic variation. I will include a link in the video description for you to learn more and listen to more demos. Thank you Polyverse Music for this great plugin. I share my story and professional journey in music to motivate, inspire and empower you. It is never too late to start following your dreams. Now, here are the latest news and updates on my journey. Get your music promoted for free. If you compose cinematic music in the style of film and game soundtracks, you have a chance to get your music featured and promoted for free in one of my future videos. If your track gets chosen, it will be included in a video on my YouTube channel, Facebook page, as well as my Facebook group. Basically, you will get free promotion to my thousands of followers online. I have created a simple Google form which you fill out to apply, and you even upload your track inside the form. Check the link in the video description to learn more. Logic Pro X for professionals. Do you use Logic Pro X for composing and producing music? Well, I have created a brand new Facebook group for advanced and professional users of Logic Pro X, with the purpose of helping each other master all the features and advanced workflow tricks and techniques in Logic. Check the link if you want to apply to join this group and level up your knowledge of this amazing DAW. New course for advanced and professional composers. I have just finished a new course for ambitious and hard-working composers like yourself. The course is called Music Composition Professional Workflow Secrets. And in this course, I share my best tips, tricks and methods to supercharge your workflow and become a more efficient composer. I have included a link for you if you want to learn more about this course. Today I have a special guest on the show. His name is Mark, and he is an amazing and engaging piano teacher with a great YouTube channel focused on helping you learn and improve your skills on the piano. And let me tell you this, learning how to play chords, melodies and rhythms on a MIDI keyboard or piano is one of my #1 secret recipes to improving as a music composer and artist. It is truly that powerful because it helps you become a more efficient composer. Alright, bring it on, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. So yes, I'm Mark from PGM Piano, one of the largest piano tutorial channels here on YouTube. I do a lot of specific teaching on my channel for specific songs or specific techniques. So in this short segment, I just wanted to tell you something in general about how to play the piano. My main focus on the channel is pop songs, R&B, that kind of stuff. So I want to tell you a little bit about that. And I've basically got 2 main tips for you right now. If you want to learn how to play the piano, the first thing you should learn are chords and scales. This may sound quite obvious, but chords and scales are really fundamental when you want to learn how to play any pop songs. Now, why is that? First of all, most of the pop songs consist out of only 7 notes, and all of those 7 notes you will find in a scale. So if you know which scale to play, you can actually improvise on the song or learn the song a lot quicker and remember it better. The second reason why scales and chords are important is that all of these songs are based on chords, right? They all have a chord structure. And if you know a lot of chords, it will help you so much to play these songs better. Again, you will learn them quicker and it will be easier for you to remember them. So pop songs usually only use 1 or 2 chord progressions with 4 or maybe 5 chords. And if you know those 5 chords, then you can play that song in a couple of minutes. The second tip, and keep in mind these are broad and general tips because I don't want to take up too much of Mike's time, but the second tip is learn songs that you love. Only learn songs that you really love, that you really want to learn to play. And this doesn't mean that if you have one song that made you want to start to play the piano and it's very difficult and you're having trouble to play that at this time and you just can't seem to get it, that you can only do that song. No, what I mean is just don't play any songs you hate, right? Only pick songs you love. I've heard so many stories from my students that their piano teacher made them play a song they didn't really like and it took them ages and ages and ages. Don't waste your time on that. It's like the best thing that can happen is that you're able to play this song, and then what? You're able to play a song that you don't like. So that really doesn't make any sense to me. Only focus on songs that you really love. It will give you more motivation, more joy, and you'll be able to progress in piano much quicker. And another thing to add to this is never learn 1 song at a time. Always learn at least 2, or what I would do is learn 3 at a time, because it keeps your mind guessing, okay? And you're not playing the same thing over and over and over again, okay? So let's say you practice every night for 15 minutes, then spend the first 8 minutes on your primary song and then do another song after that, or maybe 2 other songs, play them a couple of times and then take a break again, okay? If you do an hour a day, begin with your most favorite song and then play the other 2 a little bit as a break and then do the other one again. Keep on changing it up. It's really important that you keep on changing it up. So these are my 2 main general tips in learning how to play the piano. Learn your chords and scales, very important, and only play songs you love and never just learn 1 song at a time. Always learn multiple songs at a time to keep it switching up. If you want to learn more, I'm sure Mike has left my link in the description box here somewhere, but for now it's back to you, Mike.
Amazing tips, Mark. Thank you so much. Now, you should go over to Mark's YouTube channel and subscribe, because he has so many videos that will help you on your piano learning journey. Check the video description for the link. Now you will get to watch behind the scenes of my professional journey as a music composer. In this episode, I will try out the new Logic Pro X 10.4 update, and I will experiment and test some of the new features and tools. Alright, so now I'm here inside Logic, and I'm going to try out some of my new favorite features in this update. And one of them are the added studio horns and studio strings into the stock plugin library, and they actually sound really nice for being stock plugins. And you can change out the particular instrument inside the horns plugin, as well as the strings plugin. So here you have different sections or different individual instruments, and the same for the strings. And you can control them with your mode wheel to control expression if you have set that to on here. And some other features inside it. And also you can do key switching right inside from Logic Pro X right now with this update. So if you click on B to get the smart controls, you actually see a new thing here called key switches. So for these instruments, they are already mapped like this. So I can go with key switches for each of these different articulations, which is really nice. I have actually been waiting for that for years in Logic, and now it's here. And let me just play some of these. I'm using the mod wheel at the same time. This cello. And of course, these are recorded very, very dry, so you can choose how much space you want to add to them. And for that, you can use the new reverb if you want, which is called Chroma Verb, and looks amazing. It looks like this. And I have set it to Concert Hall. There are a number of presets here. You can dial in the decay length, as well as this knob, which is really amazing, which controls the distance when you listen to the sound, how far away in the orchestra it is from the listener's position. So if I put it to 0, wait. It's still the same size room, but if I push this to 100%, you will hear that the sound appears to be coming further inside the room. Which can be really good for assigning a different position in the 3D space when you mix your music. And they have also updated this old Space Designer, which is a convolution reverb, to look pretty much similar to the new Chroma Verb. And I have dialed in a setting called String Reverb with about the same decay or length. So let's listen to how that sounds on the cello. So for orchestral music, I actually still prefer using convolution reverbs for the most part. But this new algorithmic reverb, not only does it look nice, it actually sounds really nice, and it's super easy to use. Especially with this distance knob. Actually, let me see. So the convolution reverb doesn't have the same distance knob, so let me take that back. I will actually try using this for my cinematic orchestral music as well, and see if it can sound as good in a mix. Because this distance knob is my favorite feature inside the Chroma Verb. Right, so that was the reverbs and the new orchestral instruments inside this stock library, which you need to download, by the way, when you update from Sound Library. Download all available sounds to get it. Let me close this. Let's see. So let's try out a couple of different horns instruments. they have a couple of different variations on each, it seems. Let's try out the articulations, key switches to, let's say, Marcato short. Passionate. So what do they have? They have saxophones, trumpets, trombones, bass trombones. So that's it for the horns. Let's try a section as well. Soul section. Sounded really good, actually. Let's go to the strings again. Change that. Let's see. All right, so here they don't have different variation on each. Just one per... Or they have for violins sections. Violins 1, violins 2. Singer-songwriter. Right, a bit too much reverb for singer-songwriter, perhaps. Sounds pretty good, not the best I've heard, but these will come in handy, especially for mock-ups when writing. So now let's continue with the cool effects added. The first one is called Fat Effects, and it's basically a, well, saturator modulation kind of effect, making your sound fat. So, let's see. So this is how it sounds without it. And I have found a patch actually called Filthy Strings, which I'm still going to use for the horns, but you have a couple of different presets here, but you can also go in and dial in the different sections here, bit crushers, bandpass, grit filter, and so on. But let's turn this on. So a big difference there. Actually made it sound more vintage and like a classic recording. Let's see, the next effect. Wait, I'll try a couple of more of these first. So it can go really crazy, as you can hear, rhythmic even. Yeah, really crazy. Let's go over to the studio strings and turn on this, which is called Step Effects. And it's basically a rhythmic generator. And you can drag it out to extend the length of the rhythm or shorten it like this. And just make it like the accents on 1 and 3. Or all of them with accents. Let's try a preset, complex gated. Cool. Simple gated, lo-fi tremolo. I actually can see myself using that exact patch because it sounded like it could be used for a cinematic sci-fi type sound. So next up, they actually added lots of new filter modes for the retro synth, which many composers and producers forget about because it seems so simple, but actually it has strength in its simplicity. I mean, just listen to what you can do with it. Let me add a chroma verb as well. Put it to, let's say, concert hall. Push it back a bit. Or no, push it in the front actually. Like that. I love riffing with these kinds of synths. And I used my modulation wheel in real time to add those kind of accents with vibrato. And as you can see here, you got lots of different those kind of thin, sharp sounds could be used for hip hop, pop, or something like that. These are high pass filters. Lush fat. I actually even use these retro synths sometimes just to add a sub bass to my mix or a really low pulsing synthesizer. So it's more powerful than you might think and doesn't suck up your resources on your computer. Let me try out something like that actually. Or push it to pulse width modulation like this. Let's say we want to add, in fact, a fat FX to this. I think that can sound really good. And try that. Push the synth. Let's see. Rising pulse. That's not what I wanted. Let's just take a bigger bass. Without. Yeah, so that's another update. Let's see. I also think they added some more presets to Alchemy. I've read about that they had some new... I love this synthesizer, especially what you can do with this control down here. Whoa! Computer's starting to mess up with me as I record. But anyway, I think it was more in the soundscapes category, cinematic sounds. I haven't checked what was in here before, so I don't know which of these are updated. But a couple, I think it was 200 or 300 new presets there. They also have a new feature called Smart Tempo, which I haven't tried yet, and I think I will do a separate video about that. But basically, you can record without a click track, and Logic will try to find the beat or BPM for it and adjust it when it's recorded into the project. So that's pretty much it, I think, for my most favorite new features. I'm especially going to dig the key switches and articulation controls, because I didn't show you this, but if you go into the piano roll, you have it right here. So if you have a note, you can mark it and put it to, let's say, a fall long. Let's see if that works. Do what I tell you to do. I don't know what let's do a thrill. Yep, it works. So we can go from a thrill and then back to a sustain, like this. And it's supposed to do what I tell it to do. Let's put it down so we can hear it in a range. Right, and also let's remove all those effects. We not need those effects right now. Let's listen to. Yep, it works. As you clearly heard right now, this can be, I mean, extend this, and then let's make it even more clear by doing a staccato at the end there. That is amazing. So this was some of my favorite new features in Logic Pro X version 10.4, which is probably the best update they have done for a long time. Now it's time for my Composer Spotlight segment, where I feature and promote music compositions for free. I have chosen 3 tracks out of almost 30 applications. Thank you so much everyone for applying, and you can certainly apply again with a new composition. Check the link below if you want to apply to get your music composition featured. Alright, so the first featured track is a beautiful, serene, piano-driven piece composed by Ari Politi, and it is called Coming Home. The next feature track is an atmospheric piece that evolves into a lush, spacey composition driven by pads and synthesizers. It is composed by Biodiode and is called Ice Fields. Next up is a track composed by Beandog called Dr. Sabi, and it will give you some very interesting harmonic storylines, but with a more ambient and lush sound. I want to thank you for supporting this show and my epic journey as a music composer. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future shows or videos. Do you want to level up your skills and knowledge as a music composer? Are you ready to take your journey in music to the next level? I have several courses for you which will help you to kickstart and advance your professional career in music. Check them out on my website at peak11.com. I wish you good luck and great success on your professional journey in music. My name is Mike, and I'll see you in the next video. Click the notification bell on YouTube to get all my new videos and live shows. Thank you so much. Your support is legendary.